Time now for a look at some of the day's business news. I'm joined by Brian Quinn. Hi, Brian.
Hi, Stephen.
We're going to start in Iran and a major energy deal.
That's right. French petroleum giant Total is leading a group of oil companies as they're set to sign a multi-billion euro development contract for the world's largest natural gas field off the coast of Iran. Total will have the majority stake in developing the South Pars field in the Persian Gulf. The contract, due to be signed later today, marks the increasingly different tacks that Europe and the US are taking when it comes to dealing with Iran. Andrew Hillier reports.
A landmark deal that makes Total the first Western energy giant to return to Iran after sanctions were eased last year. The agreement gives the French company a 50.1% stake in a 4.2 billion euro project to develop the world's largest gas field. China's National Petroleum Corporation and Iran's Petropars will also own stakes in the project. The contract was supposed to be signed at the start of this year, but the head of Total said he would wait to see whether new US President Donald Trump reimposed sanctions on Iran. They had been eased by the Iran nuclear agreement back in July 2015. Since taking office, Trump has regularly promised to tear it up. And only last month, the US Senate approved new measures to strengthen sanctions on Tehran. Total's decision is a huge boost for Iran, which is desperate for fresh investment in its energy sector. Iranian authorities are hoping other energy companies will quickly follow. The country has the second largest gas reserves in the world, after Russia, and the fourth largest oil reserves. Production should begin in around 40 months' time.
That's Andrew Hillier reporting there. Today marks another step as well in China opening up its financial markets to international investors.
That's right. For the first time, foreign fund managers can now trade in China's extensive bond market without setting up mainland accounts, thanks to the Bond Connect trading link that opened Monday in Hong Kong. China is the world's third largest debt market, worth nearly $9 trillion, but foreign investors so far account for less than 2% of that market. Officials are using Hong Kong's already established position as a major international financial hub to ease access to the market.
Bond Connect marks another new chapter in the development of mutual capital markets access between the mainland and Hong Kong. It will enable eligible overseas investors to access for the first time the mainland interbank bond market through infrastructural connection established between the mainland and overseas bond markets.
All right, Brian, that's the bond markets. How are the stock markets looking today?
Well, European indexes opening higher Monday after markets posted solid gains for the first half of 2017. Paris's CAC 40, as we see, up 0.6 with some optimism over that Total deal in Iran. Asian indexes trading higher on Monday. Hong Kong's Hang Seng Index in positive territory as investors eye that Bond Connect launch. The most recent survey of Chinese business managers puts manufacturing activity at a 3-month high in the country, not showing a huge effect on indexes, however, with the Shanghai Composite just over the flat line there. Asian shares, however, holding on to 2-year highs as we enter the second half of the year. Well, let's take a look at some more of today's business headlines. Aldi North is planning its largest ever investment project. German weekly Bild am Sonntag reporting that the German discount grocery chain is set to spend over 5 billion euros to overhaul its stores around the world. Both Aldi and discount rival Lidl are challenging more established grocery chains not only in Europe, but also in the US as they expand there. Dropbox is seeking underwriters for a public stock offering. The data sharing service would be the biggest tech company to go public since Snap Inc. in March. Dropbox was valued at nearly $10 billion during a private fundraising push in 2014. And Uber has launched a speedboat service in Croatia. The ride-hailing company says the service will connect major tourist spots along the country's small islands in the Adriatic Sea. A speedboat for 8 people from the city of Split to the island of Hvar will cost the equivalent of around $400 as Uber moves in to compete with established tourist boat services.
Helicopters, boats, what will they think of next? Finally from you, Brian, some Eastern European countries feel they're getting a raw deal over processed foods.
That's right. Recent tests in those Eastern countries have appeared to show that large Western brands are cutting corners on their products in formerly communist countries. Government studies in Hungary, Slovakia, and the Czech Republic have shown discrepancies in the contents of a number of foods, with soft drinks sold in Bulgaria using processed sweeteners versus the same brand in Austria containing real sugar, for example. Experts also pointed out that over half of the 31 products tested were actually sold at higher prices in the poorer EU countries, despite having cheaper ingredients. Food producers have argued that their formulas are an attempt to cater to local tastes, but the practice has touched a nerve, with the Czech agriculture minister declaring that the East is tired of being, quote, Europe's garbage can.
Sweeteners turn sour,
Yeah,
Brian.
indeed.
It took me that entire time you were telling that story for me to come up with that pun. I'm quite proud of it. Brian Quinn with the Business News, thank you very much. Let's